Welcome back. We are just days away from the first round of Democratic presidential debates. 20 candidates looking to stand out on the campaign's biggest stage so far. And joining me now is Ohio Democratic Congressman and presidential candidate Tim Ryan. He will be a participant in the first night of debates. That's this Wednesday. It'll be on all the NBC family of networks. Congressman, thank you for taking a few minutes and joining us. Appreciate it. Let me start with you, though. You're a member of the House still, and we were talking at the top of the show about the situation at the border and what's to come in Washington in response to that potentially this week and next. It looks like dueling funding bills are one on the Senate side, one on the House side. It seems to me there's wide agreement on spending some money here, but there are differences here in terms of details. What is it in particular that you want in this bill that the Senate right now is not ready to go with?
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the Senate proposal, but making sure we have enough money to take care of these kids. I mean, we're the United States of America, for God's sake. We should be able to take care of kids who are coming from treacherous situations. They're now here in the United States. We should make sure that if they have the flu, they shouldn't lay there in their own snot on a floor with like what looks like a metal blanket. I mean, this is ridiculous, and we should be able to take care of these kids, make sure they get the kind of basic health care that a country as rich and powerful as we are should be able to provide.
Do you want, one of the stumbling blocks here, it sounds to me, potentially, is that Democrats in the House want to put into this a specific protection for any sponsor in the United States who steps forward to claim these children from HHS and say, hey, it's a relative of mine. Some Democrats want to put into this specific language saying, OK, you can't take that information and use it for deportation purposes. Is that where you stand?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I mean, we're talking about little children here. Little kids that, are 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. I mean, we have to do what is the right thing to do. And that, to me, seems like an adequate way to get these kids in a home where they can be taken care of and then processed. But the big thing here, Steve, the issue is in Central America. The president has not talked for 5 seconds about where these people are coming from and what the situation is like in Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador. We need to go to the root cause of the problem, stabilize these countries so that people aren't migrating into the United States. That's why they're leaving there. They're going to get thrown into gangs or young girls thrown into the sex trade. So, of course, they're going to leave. And, of course, they're going to try to come to the United States. Let's go down there and try to fix the root cause of the problem.
Let me turn to Iran, also obviously in the news today. The administration announcing further sanctions. Do you support what the administration did today on sanctions?
Look, this is a frustrating situation. These sanctions are going to have zero effect because they're trying to say that the Ayatollah basically is not going to be able to participate in the international banking system. That's a joke. I mean, do we really think that the Ayatollah in Iran is putting his money in international banks? I mean, this is a country that, I mean, it's like saying we're going to do that for Vito Corleone, right? I mean, the mob does not put their money in the bank. So this is going to have zero effect. And the problem started when the president pulled us out of the agreement in Iran. And that's why this thing is getting escalated. So I don't know what the end goal is here. I can't support something where I don't know what the end goal is. And so I want to hear more before I agree to support any of this.
There is the more immediate instigating factor here, though, just for the events of the last couple of days of Iran shooting down that drone. If you think these sanctions today are feckless, what should the response be of the United States to Iran doing that?
The response should be that we should re-engage with our partners, including Russia and China and the European countries who put the joint agreement together, and we should sit back down at the table with Iran and craft another deal. And it could be based on the last deal because we don't want them to have a nuclear weapon, and we want the region to be stabilized. And ever since we pulled out, this has started to unravel. And so I think that is the first step. Let's get back at the table. But the problem is, Steve, you got John Bolton there, who's wanted regime change in Iran for how long? Years. And now he's the head of the National Security Agency. And of course, we're going to be in this position where it's going to be nothing but conflict. We used to be a stabilizing factor in the world for decades, and now we cause more chaos than is needed. There's enough chaos in the world. You don't need the United States causing more.
All right, Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio, presidential candidate. Two of those issues we just talked about likely to come up, I think, in those debates this week. Again, Wednesday night, you'll be with that first group. 2 nights, 10 candidates each. Congressman, thank you for taking a few minutes. We appreciate that.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Beat the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.